think sometimes are psychological.
I said to the financial cost
as one of the many
was
reasons
enormous.
it was a God experience. I just wanted to find God.
Simply feeling like you're inspired isn't always so.
Tell us about the solution.
As one
People
of
with
many
18 to 35 years of age start out of work.
Hey, I don't have the skills for this particular problem to solve this particular problem.
None of us talked about the bread seller.
It's easier to import than export, and they have to change that. It should be easier to export than import.
So for us to come out of this, there must be proper consumer education that will simply let people know.
You need to be engaged. Like, your asset is only as good as the income that it can bring in for you.
One of the problems that we have as Nigerians is that we think it's derogatory. For example, to say, I can't afford it.
Welcome to the Heart of the Matter. Today we're doing a review of the year 2016, which is gradually coming to an end. And I'm just thinking about some of the really memorable episodes that we had the fortune to bring to you. And as I look back, the first one that comes to my mind is the episode with T.Y. Bello. She'd actually been on the Heart of the Matter before, but this time she came and we were talking about life. That was the theme of our discussion. T.Y. Bello happens to be an accomplished singer, and also she's become an accomplished photographer who is sought all over the world. And one of the things that we talked about during the episode we had with her was the fact that while she was doing a shoot in Sabo area of Yaba, a girl walked past carrying a loaf of bread on her head. And when she looked at the shots later, she saw how beautiful this girl looked and what a wonderful model she would make. And so T.Y. Bello sought after the girl, was able to find her, and today this girl has got a modeling career. And so many Nigerians jumped on the bandwagon when they found out that here's somebody that needed help, and helped her. She got a house, she got a car, she got all sorts of things, and she's now established in a career. That was one of the things that T.Y. Bello is typical of doing. Thinking back about 2016, I remember the episode we did with Ndidi Muneli. Ndidi's also been on the Heart of the Matter a few times. Ndidi is she's got an MBA from Harvard University. She's a very well qualified young lady, and so talking about moving Nigeria forward, she seems to be one of the best people to talk to. And so we talked to her about moving Nigeria forward. And she talked about some of the things that she herself has done and is doing in Nigeria's business life. I knew her when she founded Leap Africa, which was an NGO that is meant to help young people develop and blossom in their careers. And then she and her husband went into the agro-allied business long before people said Nigeria needs to get into agro-allied business. She'd gone in there first, and she's in an advantage now because she's already in the business, and now it's time for Nigeria to begin to make an income, to earn an income from exporting agricultural and agriculturally allied products. So that was a memorable episode because I'm sure a lot of people got inspiration and encouragement as they listened to Ndidi.
So reducing the number of steps, creating a one-stop shop, creating incentives for exporters, and actually literally reducing all the barriers and red tape.
What would have helped me is if the cargo shed stayed open till 9 p.m.
Exactly, something that basic.
Yeah.
And so we need to see a lot more of that. We also need to see more financing for exporters, and because obviously exporters are carrying a lot of the risk. You don't get paid until your customer has received your goods and certified them of high quality. So for a 6-month window, you're carrying that risk, and that needs to be mitigated. So there are many, many ways the government can get involved. I also think government has to create those linkages for a lot of Nigerian businesses. I think our embassies abroad have an important role to play, not just to give visas, but actually to serve as an open shop for people who want to source from Nigeria to be able to be linked to Nigerian exporters.
So they need to have experts in each of the embassies that will be able to do this.
Who can sell what the best of Nigeria to the rest of the world, yeah.
We also had a poet. I forget her name for a moment, but when it comes back to me, I will let you know. Titilope Shonuga. She is a natural poet, and her poetry doesn't sound like it's been contrived or it's been planned. She just writes about things that she sees and enjoys, and she really captivated the audience while we talked to her. We also had the promoters of Hear Word. There was Bimbo Akintola and Ifoma Fafunwa. Hear Word is a series of plays that have been put together to deal with things that women in particular go through in our society. And, you know, I remember that episode particularly for the fact that I set out to ask the ladies questions about what they were doing, and they ended up asking me questions about what men weren't doing and what we could be doing to assist them in their work.
As a pastor, let's put you in interview.
Well, I think the first thing is marriage is a partnership. We've said that over here already. And in a partnership works better if you have a senior partner.
So what if it's an area, what if you have a stubborn husband and you're a specialist in a certain area, and then he wants to cast this vote, which is rubbish? What do we do with that? What do we do with the rubbish casting vote? You know? That's why we talk about discussing. After we discuss it, he's just one of those guys that's like, you know, refuses.
Then you should win. But if he is stubborn, like you said, and he just casts his vote, let him. And then when he runs into trouble, he will remember that you said you shouldn't go this way. Okay? I think, because a submissive wife is just one that will not force her way. And remember, the same chapter of Scripture says, submit to one another. So there are times, I think one of the things about marriage is learning to say sorry when you haven't done anything wrong. Sometimes saying sorry, whether it's the husband or the wife, helps to diffuse a situation.
So if it says submit to one another, why don't we repeat that line? Why do we keep hearing the other one?
Yeah, that's because it's a patriarchal world.
Yeah, so this is the problem.
Yeah, so the problem is, anytime somebody says, wife, submit to your husband, wives quote back and say, submit to one another.
Okay, good.
You know?
Well, we need to get that passage, whatever that is.
So that was also another really memorable program from my perspective. And I'm now looking to 2017. In 2017, we want to mobilize people to find that niche that they thrive and prosper in. And we'll bring as many guests as can encourage them to find their place of passion where they can become influential people, influencing a change in our national life so that we can bring Nigeria up to the place where Nigeria is meant to be. So we're looking to bring people that will speak to you, the viewer, and encourage you and inspire you and help you to do something that you may never have done before, but something that you will thoroughly enjoy doing and will be a blessing to the nation.
(2016) on the Heart of the Matter has been quite an interesting year. A year in which I personally believe that we've lived up to our focus on the theme of real people, real life, and real issues. We've talked about a range of things. I mean, one of the ones I remember quite clearly is interviewing Chukwuka Chukwuma, the younger brother of the late Chaz B, where we learned about Chaz B's life. And not in any particular sequence, I also remember the story of Ekene's father. Ekene's father went into a general hospital in Nigeria, and through really what I can only describe as a lot of negligence and just maltreatment and people not focusing on the real thing, he ended up losing his life. And that was a very heart-wrenching and touching story.
In fact, as my younger brother, he lost it at that point. Had to yell at her, and She catwalked to come and meet us. And at this point, they had taken my dad off oxygen.
We also talked about the plight of internally displaced people, IDPs, in various camps in Nigeria. And I remember two distinct episodes. We learned a lot about the numbers of people displaced. Much earlier in the year, we were looking at about 2 million people. By the time we did the second episode, about 3 million people displaced. And whilst our second episode showed that things were getting better in some quarters, in the early side, it was very tragic. We heard about some very scary stories that people actually faced.
We got there and we brought all the medication. And so we let everybody know, and the doctor who took everything, this is free, this is for everyone, no one will pay for this and all that.
Then looking at the economy of Nigeria, it was very interesting to look at it from the point of view of people looking for work. There was a very, very interesting book that we reviewed, Vacancy You're Urgently Required. And what that was all about was actually telling people that their ability to move forward, maybe get new jobs, maybe do their own thing, really is down to them. It's down to how they position themselves and their determination to succeed. It was also interesting to hear about, the plight of street children. We met with Yemisi Wada. She told us about what her foundation does. And really, we have to spare a serious thought for all these kids who are out and about. And some of those kids actually prefer to be on the street because sometimes they're running away from something. Parents who've abused them, maybe a dysfunctional family and otherwise. But it was nice to hear about a number of stories where kids had been reunited with their families and they went on to do, wonderful things. So for me, it's been a truly enriching year. I've learned a lot. I remember talking to Bolale Austin Peters about the creative arts in Nigeria and the role that can actually perform as a revenue earner. But importantly, how we really don't focus enough. And from that particular production house, we heard about 93 Days, which is the story of Ebola, how Nigeria, especially Lagos State, overcame that particular episode, and the heroic actions of Dr. Stella Adadevoh, now of blessed memory, who, frankly speaking, gave of herself to rescue many other people's lives from this tragic Ebola episode. It's truly been wonderful. I've personally been blessed. I've actually found myself sometimes meeting people, not just in Nigeria. I remember once in South Africa this year when somebody recognized me and said, I've been watching The Heart of the Matter, and this touched my life in a positive way. Another area we've talked about, also on the health side, is about cancer. I was very privileged to interview a friend of mine who I've known for more or less 20 years. And Farouk Oriagba has recently been able to overcome the challenges of dealing with bone marrow cancer. And I know that after this program, many people reached out to Farouk, and he's gone on and is more intensely counseling people.
The two things that I have learned, and I keep on telling people, is one, you can increase or decrease your chances of getting cancer by the lifestyle you lead.
Yes. These are the kind of stories that really we relish, because when we hear that what we're doing is touching people's lives in a way that they either see the glory of God in their own lives and what He's done for them, or at least they feel closer. They know that there's something somewhere that they can believe in. It's really wonderful. I also remember the Shebekli Center, who also deal with cancer, and the wonderful work they do, going up pretty much like a hospice and helping people who are very often on the last legs of cancer, and giving them peace and helping them to get through that last lap. And one thing I've learned, both from the Shebekli Center as well as from Farouk's testimony, is the importance of early detection of cancer, so it can be tackled before it gets to, say, a stage 4, when it's pretty much close to terminal. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I think what we have to now do against the background of 2016 is to begin to look forward to 2017. We look forward to 2017 with a lot of hope. Our prayers are that God will see us through it all, and our prayers are especially for you, our audience, that you will continue to follow this program, you'll continue to bless us as the team. The entire crew has worked in a very dedicated way, all volunteers, to bring these real life stories and real life issues to you.
In 2016, a very interesting year with some amazing and exciting episodes. One of my favorites is where we showcased some amazing agribusiness entrepreneurs doing exciting things in agriculture. The reason I find this episode very interesting is because, as we all know, we're in a recession in Nigeria, and not just Nigeria, other African countries and the rest of the world. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of doom and gloom, but it was beautiful to showcase people that are doing great things and are creating wealth even in this recession. In agriculture, there's so many opportunities. We have 80% arable land that is still underdeveloped. We have amazing weather. Everything grows in Nigeria. You can grow strawberries in Jos. We also have a huge population, youthful population. There are opportunities across the entire value chain, from storage to transportation, marketing, branding, packaging. You don't even have to be a farmer, and there are opportunities in farming as well. So there's just so many opportunities. We also showcase another entrepreneur who's turning trash to cash. Now, we all complain about the waste problem, the refuse problem in Lagos especially, and the rest of Nigeria. But it was nice to find out that you can actually make money from that. So you can either be a recycler or start a recycling company, or just package the waste and sell it to recycling companies.
So yes, that also works, and we also have the school recycling scheme, because we want to teach the young ones to get involved in this early. So we decided to have the school recycling scheme, where the students are taught about different materials in their science class, and then imbibe the habit of waste recycling.
Showcase some other entrepreneurs who are using technology to tutor JAM students, 2 young boys who have won awards and have been featured on some amazing platforms like Forbes. So in this economy, you have no business complaining that you're broke or feeling sorry for yourself. Even if you've lost your job, you should be thanking God, because you can now be an entrepreneur and take advantage of some of those amazing opportunities. Towards the end of the year, we also showcased 2 other entrepreneurs, the do-it-yourself entrepreneurs. One of them, the founder of Eventecture. Around this time last year, she was depressed and came for the conference. And today, she's the #1 special effects and lighting female in Nigeria. She's done some of the biggest weddings, some of the biggest concerts and events. She's doing so well, and amazingly, she studied Yoruba. But the game changer was that she decided to face her fears and fulfill her dreams, go after her dreams. And now she's bringing so much joy to so many weddings, so many families. I mean, I personally benefited from it, because my conference this year, she came and she did the special effects and lighting, and it was so beautiful. Another entrepreneur, Toby of Bello Foods, who was an events planner and was somewhat in a place where she was a bit depressed. But you know what? Today, she's an agribusiness entrepreneur. She's packaging snails and even coconut oil, and she's doing so well. She actually even sponsored people for the conference this year. In terms of faith, some of my favorite episodes, Living Strong, we interviewed a lady who almost killed herself because of sickle cell. And she was at that point, but then her life turned around, and today she's providing hope, inspiration, and encouragement to hundreds and thousands of people who are also going through sickle cell. She has this blog where she shares her stories and other people's stories, and it's sort of an encouragement, and it helps people living with sickle cell to know that they still have hope and they can still live a fulfilled life.
It's beyond today, yes. It's beyond today. It's beyond what had happened yesterday. It's about what's going to happen tomorrow. So why don't I stay and see what God will do with my life and all. And I think that was just the message that came to me at that point in time, and I was able to forget about suicide.
She got married as well shortly after the episode, and she's doing really well. Another of my favorite episodes is a lady of faith, humongous faith. I mean, she has the audacity to dream big. She survived a plane crash where she was the only survivor without any burns, no scratch at all, even though there were about 9 other survivors. And I mean, her story is amazing. It talks about how she just found herself on the floor. It was like she was carried, and she was sitting exactly the way she was sitting. Her phone was right next to her. And, you know, today she also suffered from guilt afterwards, thinking that, okay, why God must expect something huge from her for saving her. But you know what? Today she's doing amazing things. She just had a Girl Talk conference, the first conference, Girl Talk conference, in one of the most expensive venues in Lagos, and it was for free. And on her flyer, she put this conference is hosted by God and convened by the Holy Spirit. I mean, who does that? You know, but she's bold. She's not afraid of her faith. And I went for that conference. I spoke as well. There are so many young women, you know, and it was just amazing to see how she's able to pour into them. And she did this just after she just had a baby and submitted her thesis for her PhD. So for me, I think this entire year, all the episodes, I mean, there have been some other amazing episodes, like we had Gloria Dozian of Inspired by Glory and Francesca Uriri of Leading Ladies Africa. These ladies are doing amazing things, impacting African women. Women who are doing, I mean, they're just changing the narrative.
Have you given that person the honor that that person is your boss? Like, there's no, you know, this is not a competition. This is not a democracy. This is, have you honored the person? And if you investigate, you find that people always say, okay, no, but I also have an MBA, but the person has been there longer than you. There's a reason why they are your boss.
And it's just a good feeling to be a woman, to be a young African woman, a black woman. It's an amazing thing. But we also showcased a lady, Adenike, who lost her limb, but she's also doing amazing things. So this year for me has just been so inspiring. I am encouraged. I am excited for 2017. There's nothing holding you back apart from yourself. There's just so much you can do, and you can truly flourish in 2016. So I wish you a Merry Christmas and a very happy, fruitful, and prosperous 2017.
So look, we wish you a wonderful and Merry Christmas and a prosperous and very bright new year in 2017 and beyond. So have a great time and stay blessed.
As 2016 ebbs to a close, let's shift our focus to 2017. 2017, by the grace of God, will be a great year for you. It'll be a year of blessing, a year of productivity, a year of fulfillment, a year in which you have promises established in your life. Now, I want to take this last opportunity of 2016 to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay blessed as we go through 2017 with the Heart of the Matter.